online for free and also show you a lot about how the game really is a very simple extension of a simple framework that you can use whenever you're creating a scene in your stories. So, uh, just to get started here, I am going to pause this for a while and probably edit some of it, but I'll be introducing some people who are going to be joining a little bit later. But I wanted to get a start up with that first. So let me get started with a few things here. Um, One of them is that I wanted to share a little bit about the pres the game itself, and hopefully you can see this. Yeah, there you go. So collaborative scene creation using Smalltown Tales. So we'll begin at around 7 o'clock, and if you have any questions, just join and enter those in the live chat, and I'll be looking forward to showing you more about Small Town Tales and how you can do that, and we'll get started in just a moment. Well, hello. I thought I'd get started um, on teaching a little bit about collaborative scene creation and how you can use Small Town Tales to achieve that. Let's get started. So, with any type of scene that you create, I wanted to first give you a little bit of background about myself. So, I've been creating games, gosh, since I was a little kid, but more seriously creating games really for the last 15 to 20 years. And I've done a lot of collaborations with professional organizations. The first one there is the Dallas Pegasus Theater. Uh, Randy Kleeman there. I mean, awesome group of actors and an independent theater company with curtains. I should grab the book to show you that game. It's really an awesome game that allows you to recreate a murder mystery comedy as if you're the producer of that game. Yeah, I might sneak over and get that game and show it to you. It's a really fun game. Accusations, another mystery game, but a little bit different twist where you're accusing other people to try to get them incriminated. And then I've done a lot of word and story games. That's really, as you can see, even the other two are about stories. It's really all been about bringing stories to life. A very grammar, teaching grammar to young children. We homeschooled and really wanted a good English background for our children. So the Birds and Words game is a really focuses on the craft of grammar in a fun way where you're in an aviary and you're naming birds and you're putting them together in sentences and you get points and it's really a fun game. Making grammar fun, if you can imagine that, right? Who wouldn't want that as a parent? And then other just epic stories that I just loved. Mary Queen of Scots story. She was the Queen of France, the Queen of Scotland. Uh, Ultimately, her son betrayed her in a sense, and she was beheaded. Um, just an awesome story. A very powerful woman, very independent, intelligent woman who could speak several languages. And then just different epic stories about the Christian, from my background, uh, Christ's background here with Christ is risen, Christ is born, American Patriots, and Providence. Welcome, Sarah. Glad you could join us. Um, and we got some people starting to join. And and then just other games that really were very historical that I wanted to, just highlight a little bit. Um, and so, yeah, so just a background on that. And then Sarah, I'll just ask you to, if you want to, you can. It says that your microphone and your camera are already in use by some other applications, so you may have to close those and reopen them for this particular app. Yeah, there you go. I can hear you now, I think. Yeah, I hear you talking. You just said something.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. How are you?
I
Do
am
you,
good. Am
do
I
you,
on? I don't think my camera is working.
no, your camera's not working, but I do hear your voice, and that's very
Okay. This
comforting.
is really
That's very
weird. I don't
comforting.
know what is going on with my thing. I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it. I think it's probably conflicting. You may have it used by another application. That's what it's saying. So you may have to close another application if you want to share your
This is
camera, or maybe
so
you
weird.
have a bad hair day and you don't want to.
Ah, I'm just, well, I'll just stick with the class for now. My camera has been working like all week, so I don't know if it's what it is.
Ah,
I just want to stay on because I'm already late. But
no worries.
yeah.
Yeah. Can you see
So
my screen? Are you able to
yeah,
see
I
what
can
I'm
see the
showing?
screen. I got it.
Cool,
Yes.
great. I was recording this for posterity's sake here, and giving people a little bit of background on myself
Okay.
and what I do
Okay.
and what we're doing here. So I'll keep going through that so we can get into the fun part of the game here,
Okay.
because I'm really looking forward to showing you the real version of the game, which you actually happen to have now in
Yes,
your own
I
possession.
do. I need to grab it. It's right
Good.
here.
Cool. Have you had a chance to open it up or look at it very much?
I have not had a chance to. It has been crazy, but I will
Okay.
do it right now.
Well, that's good. This will be a great a primer for you then.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I have
yeah.
opened it up. I just haven't played it
Okay.
yet. I mean, I played it with
Okay. All
you.
right. Well, that's a version that's an online version. So anyway, I'll get back to my little spiel here about why we're doing this. Sarah and I are both part of Authortunities Hub. It's an awesome place for people to who are aspiring authors or new authors, or even if you've written 2 or 3 books and you want to continue to hone your skills. Authortunities is an awesome we call it a flywheel approach, where you contribute and then you're drawn through the whole process of publishing, and you can contribute, you can be part of that process, and it's a minimal or no cost for you to do publishing and learning. And it's just an awesome resource for anybody who's an aspiring author. And I owe a lot of this game to the authors and people who are on that site. So, what is Smalltown Tales? It's a community driven game from authors, storytellers, and readers. And every week we have uh, a little weekly scene creation exercise that we do to help people unblock their things, and we get comments to help people hone their skills. It's multi-genre, and tonight I'm going to ask Sarah to pick her favorite genre, and we're going to play a brief game with her picking the genre that we want to play. We've got a lot of really cool authors who have written episodes, just like when you tune into your favorite episode of a story. There's a lot of different episodes in different genres. This one was written by Natalie Demore, which is a murder mystery. We've got comedies, and we've got um, a dark speculative fiction that was written by Angela Eureka Smith, based on her Bram Stoker nominated award-winning book called A Bittersweet, which we're now working on a awesome sequel to that through the game, right, Sarah?
Yeah, it's really good, by the way.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that published. It's going to be published in Space and Time, and I'm also working with some other people who may publish it. So stick around and look for Bittersweet Revenge. It's going to be out there. You will be laughing and you'll be going, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that plot twist." Kind of a thing, and it's so collaborative. It's just an awesome story. I can't wait to get that out.
Yeah.
And there's other different genres we've got for young adults. We're doing this with libraries. Working with storytelling guilds, and so it just covers a broad brush of different genres, and that's why I love it. It's just so applicable to a lot of different things, and it follows a really simple structure. I spent, I'd say, at least 6 months interviewing and doing research about how do people create really good stories. And it came down to, I thought, something that could be turned into a framework that I just using the acronym of KSIP, which is real, I always like acronyms, right? Uh, characters, characters that are fascinating and relatable. Who doesn't want their story to have fascinating and relatable characters, right? We all do, right, Sarah? You just
Yeah,
gotta
absolutely.
have that. You want the activities and the plots that they do to really reveal their desires, their motives, their values, and how they're going to do that. So that's activities. That just sounds so intuitive, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then settings. Every setting of your story, really your story world, you want that to be like almost like a second character or third character in your story to bring your story world to life, whether it's um, a library or it's a hotel or whatever it is. You want that to be something that brings your story, makes it plausible and real, makes your story real. And then something that I'm going to bring here a little bit different. If you played the online version, when you have the real version, it's called enhancing. Think of it almost like a conjunction, uh, where you have an and to something. Like, okay, I just heard a little bit of a story, and I want to enhance that by prolonging that scene, expanding that scene, or adding a subplot to that scene. And when you're playing the game with the cards, or online using the Tabletopia, which we're going to do today,
Oh, cool.
that's a that adds like a totally new dimension to the game where you can like say, oh, wait a minute, I want Benito to have a subplot where he's really the husband of her, or something like that. And so you can really interject these really cool ideas right in the middle at the end of somebody's scene. You can say, "Oh, I want to expand your scene. I want to enhance it." And that's something that we haven't been able to do online because it would take a little more sophistication than can be done simply, with a sheet of paper. So I'm excited to show that off today. And then
Oh,
plot structures, which those plot structures, as you may know as an author or reader or writer, are common themes that help you understand. Eight is usually broken down into 3 to 5 or 6 different phases, from the beginning intro to a climax all the way to a conclusion, and they vary depending on the genre and the theme of your story. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail of this. I've done this several times, but these are some examples of 3 of the cards: character, activity, and setting cards that are used. And you can see on each card there, they tell you right up at the top if they're a character, activity, or setting. And then they have like I'll call it an introduction of what's that about. Any character here, the activity here being guilty feelings, and then the setting being a hotel bar. And then underneath them are more advice, mentoring advice that you would use to create your scene. And what you do is you basically pick 3 cards, up to 3 cards, one of each type, to create your scene. And then you tell a story based on this mentoring advice that's below. And as you can see, it's not really telling me exactly what to say. It's just giving me a little bit of a challenge that I would pick a character, have them or one of the people in my story deal with some guilt, and then they happen to be in a hotel bar, and then describe some sensory details about that and the struggles that this character is doing. So if I were just going to say this quickly, it'd be something like I could pick Fred here and say, Fred, it's Saturday, he's off duty, and he went to the bar and ordered a beer at 10 o'clock, and the bartender goes, what, Fred, you're starting awfully early here. And the clink of the glasses are going on, and he's loving this place because it's a distraction from him, because he's really struggling with maybe some sort of an internal issue about um, maybe he lost somebody, died in a fire recently, and he heard them screaming, and he can't sleep at night, and so he's got these feelings like, what if I had just tried a different thing? I should have gone in that house even though it was burning to try to save that young girl. So that would be my scene, and typically you want to try to keep that to about 4 minutes so you're not hogging the whole story, and then you let somebody else take over from there, and so that's an example of how you would use these 3 cards to create your scene, and try to, like it says here, look at the details below each card to get ideas on how to expand and make your scene more robust and or your characters more relatable, your activities showing the desires and motivations of your character, and bringing that story world to life. In this example, I could have said, the clinking of the glasses, he could smell the beer from the previous night on the wooden floor. You could really make that come alive. People who had been smoking the night before, it still had that stench in the from the floor. So there's a lot of different things you can do. So these ideas all are there to help challenge you. So when you write your own story, you may have something like, oh yeah, I've been practicing this technique, and I'm going to try to apply some of this to my own story that I'm working on. So it's not a hard thing to do. It is a little challenging at times. And the cool thing about it is when you're playing with somebody else, you're going to get things that you never would have thought of doing. You never would have thought of doing before. And so that's how the game is really played in rounds, where each player has cards in their hand, and they play one of each type of card if they want to, and they tell a story. And then you try to build on that story one person at a time. So again, you've got these character cards that make your fascinating relatable. You've got activity cards. You've got setting cards. And then you've got these enhanced cards, which I wanted to kind of highlight a little bit differently. Um, those cards allow you to interject, even though this is a turn-based game. Let's imagine you've got 3 or 4 players playing the game, and you just did your turn, and the person to your left starts talking about something, and you've got some cards in your hand, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to do this so bad. And you happen to have one of these cards here, a prolong, an expand, or a subplot. You can actually play that at the end of their turn to do that. You can prolong their scene, you can expand it, and you can add a subplot to their scene. Um, while they're playing. So it's a way of adding like a conjunction right onto somebody else's scene. And that's a lot of fun because it allows you to express your creativity without having to wait for your turn. And there's only a few of these cards, but they're fun because you might want to bank them and wait for something where you've got a couple, like a plot twist or something like that that you want to throw in somewhere in the middle of the story. So that's a little bit different, Sarah. I don't think you've done
Yeah,
that yet.
that's really cool. Yeah, I don't think we used.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't use this
Yeah.
before.
No, we didn't have a chance to use those. And then there's plot structure cards, which there's really 36 plot structures. Did a lot of research on, there was I settled into 7 major genres, and then each one of those has about 5 or 6 different plot structures that I found doing research to help. And these just help make the stories cohesive. So everybody wants to try to keep the story cohesive to some extent. So you're not telling, like one person's telling a comedy and the other one's telling a murder mystery and the other one's telling a sci-fi. That would be really too wacky, right? That would
It
be
would be
really
very
wacky.
hard to sort of go in and out of, make it
Yeah,
all
exactly.
together.
Now, that doesn't mean you couldn't combine. You can do a mashup,
Yeah,
right? You might want to do a psychological horror with a romance, right? So
yeah,
maybe your protagonist is in love with somebody, but that person's troubled and they feel that they're possessed by a demon, and so you can do that, and I have played that with some people, but you might not want to start your very first game with that. You want to work up to some of these more genre mashups. And certainly every major story that I've read has a mashup, right? It's not just one simple plot structure. It's got sometimes 10, 20 different plot structures. Or if you talk about tropes, it can have 30 or 40, but this is a little bit higher level, more like a theme or a structure to a story, and not trying to be a trope for the whole thing. So, before we get started, oh, you had a question or a comment,
Oh,
Sarah?
I'm so sorry. I sound very uneducated. What is a trope? What's a trope?
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm not the expert on tropes, but there are a lot of really good books out on tropes. And a trope, think of a trope as, let's look at Gone with the Wind,
Mm-hmm.
um, where Scarlett is really trying um, to to persevere in her life. And
Right.
the whole story is about Scarlett persevering in her life, and but then middle of that, Ashley shows up, right?
Right.
And she has a love interest in Ashley. And then Ashley, he's a trope. And he has a certain demeanor, and he's got a certain um, well, I really love, I can't remember her name right now, but he
Melanie.
loves her, Melanie, right?
Uh-huh.
And he rejects her, and so he's like a secondary character. But once you know him, you're like, oh, I know what he's about, right? And then
Yeah.
there's Brett. Then there's Brett, he's the rough and tumble guy who really knows what Scarlett needs. That's another trope that weaves in. But there's a really great. I'll share a link on tropes a little bit
Okay.
later for you that you'll
Okay,
love it.
cool.
And I think once you realize it, you'll go like, oh wow, I didn't realize that. So I'm
Okay.
looking into maybe doing something advanced with tropes later, but I want to keep it simple for now.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
want this to get too complicated. Yeah,
Yeah.
but so this is some advice that I collected from different authors and different people about how to create great scenes.
Mm.
And one of my favorite is the start late, leave early, where you begin your scene in the middle of some action, right?
Mhm.
And then you want to end that as soon as your main objective is achieved. So maybe the scene might be some sort of a sci-fi horror where um, the vampire's ready to bite her on the neck. And then somebody busts in the door and goes, "Stand back!" So that would be the opening. That's right in the middle of the action, right? And then maybe in the end of the scene is the vampire does bite her, but only half the way, and then he flies away or something, turns into a bat and leaves. I'm really That's kind of silly, but whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, but so that you can see, I left it but right as soon as it kind of was completed, and that keeps that pacing
Yeah.
tight in your scene, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to turn the next page, sort of thing. And then there's shadowing at the end of your scene, a hint to what might happen, like,
Yeah.
the children were sleeping and everything was great, but then there was the gnawing sound under their bed of something scratching, and little Gretchen woke up. And then that's the end of your scene. Well, gosh, I got to see
Right.
what's going on.
Yeah.
I've got to turn the page. So these are just different ideas that I've received from different authors,
It's
and
fun to hand
um,
it off to someone, and see where they take it because you don't want to finalize it because then there's really nowhere for the next
yeah,
person to take it.
ex-
You know.
exactly, exactly. Yeah. So now we're actually going to go to the online version of this game at Tabletopia. Do you have two screens, Sarah? Do you have the ability to look at another screen, or you just got one screen?
I think I have two screen. Let me see if I do.
You have another monitor? Do you have two monitors or one monitor?
I have one monitor. Well,
Okay.
wait. It just says people. Wait. If I get rid of people, I can. So, do I go to view or layout or something?
Well, you like a physical monitor. The reason I was saying that, it might be easier for you for me to mirror everything for you, or you can log in and play just online while we play. So, um,
Oh. No, I don't have two monitors. I have
okay, all
one.
right.
Sorry.
All right, well that helps me then give an idea of how we can play this then.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us to this website, Tabletopia game Smalltown Tales,
Okay.
and you're free to play this game for free.
Okay.
And this game this mirrors more realistically what the real game is like.
Okay.
And since it's just going to be me and you,
Uh-huh.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit different version called the hot seat, which allows
Okay.
me to do this without as much fanfare, if you will. So
Okay.
I'm gonna turn that on.
Hmm.
Okay, let's do full screen,
Okay.
so it's easier for you to see this.
Okay.
So you can see this loading right now. This Small
Yeah.
Town Tales loading. Cool.
This looks good.
Right. Yeah. So this is the online version, and it's identical to when you purchase the physical game from the Game Crafter.
Oh, this is really nice. I
And
mean, I opened it and looked through it, but I just saw a new one too. Change
yeah,
story.
change your story.
That was a
Yeah,
cool
so let me.
card.
I'll go through this real quick for you. This is kind of a great. This is great. You've got the deck. You've got the physical
Yeah.
box there, and we'll actually play a few rounds of this so you get to feel. So you can take this, invite your friends over and play it. Sometime.
Yeah, cool.
So this is how you set up the game. It's already set up for you here, where
Okay.
you have two different decks. You've got the character deck, and
Mhm.
every one of these decks is a character card.
Okay.
Okay, and you can kind of see they've got pictures of people on it in small town, wandering around, trying to get to know each other in the park. And then there is the, I'll call it more like a plot deck, which it has all the other types of cards in it. It has the settings, it has the activity cards, and then it has these enhanced cards.
The settings.
And
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, like this. This is a setting card right here, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And you'll set up what I'm going to call the common pool. You're going to draw two of these cards, of the character cards, and then two of the um, plot cards, so that you can see these as potential cards for your hand.
Okay.
Now, what genre would you like to play today? Is there any particular,
Mm.
something you're working on, a novel you're working on, or story?
I am not genre. Where are they? Do I
Yeah.
look at plot structures? Is that what I'm
Yeah,
looking
so these we've got mystery,
at? Mm-hmm.
romance, horror,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got drama, just basic drama,
Okay.
sci-fi, fantasy, and comedy. Those are my
Okay.
main genres. Is there any
Okay.
particular high drama? Which one would you like to try today?
I don't know. Well, let's mistaken identity looks kind of fun.
All right, mistaken identity. Okay, I think is that a comedy? I think, right?
I think. Oh yeah, it does. Do you want to do a comedy? I'll do whatever you want to do.
Hey, I am. Let's try it. Comedy. I've never really written a comedy before,
I never
but I.
have either. I don't know if it's too out of our ballpark. You want to do a drama?
Uh, okay, let's try drama.
Yeah, do you pick one? I'm
All right.
having you be the leader.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. How about a personal struggle? That
Okay,
sounds
that
like a
sounds
pretty
good. I
easy.
like that.
That sounds like a person. That sounds like a pretty easy one. And let's
That's a
look
good
at
one.
that. Yeah. So a personal struggle is, you've got some character with the ordinary life, and then some event exacerbates their situation. There's tension. They're trying to grapple with that, and then that struggle intensifies,
Okay.
leading to a crisis, and maybe even self-doubt. Like, oh no, can I win that Oscar that I've always wanted to win, or
Right.
whatever? I don't know what. And then there's a climax, some breakthrough, and then the resolution. So that's a pretty simple and a very common plot structure that you see in stories, right?
Okay, yeah, that's
So,
good. I like that.
so we'll use that one. That's a pretty simple one. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that you're the first. I'll be the first player, and I'll make you the second
Yes.
player. I'll make you the red player.
Okay.
So what each one of us are going to do is we're going to draw uh, two of these character cards.
Okay.
And since we're doing this, just me and you, I'm going to
Hmm.
use them as an open face, so it's easy for us to both see them.
Okay.
And then I'm going to draw two of these, and I'll zoom in on these in a second so you
Oh
can see
yeah,
them.
that's good.
And then I'm going to draw two for you,
Okay.
and I'm going to put you over here.
Okay.
So there's those. Hold on, let's see. Let me get the. Okay, you're going to get seasick here if I do it too much. Hold on, let me fix this. I'm going to put it like here so you can see which cards you've got.
Okay.
And I'm going to
So,
there's two. That's camera position number two. And I'm going to
okay.
draw two more of these cards.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got, these are going to be your cards. Two character cards and two, you've got setting, any setting you want in a hospital.
Okay, so I have any characters with a
You
prejudice,
could pick,
right?
you'll, yeah, you could pick that, you could pick this, or guess what? You can pick, whoops, let me do it this way. Let's see, you can pick from the common pool too. And let me do that, control 3. That this is where if you actually are playing the game in real life, it's a little easier because you can go to these cards and go, oh, I like the backstory better than any of the cards I'm holding right now.
Okay.
S-
So,
so
wait, let me just make
so
my.
right now I I get to I'm going to go ahead and start, and I've got. Let me go to mine. Let me do mine real quick here.
Okay.
All right. So I've got an internal conflict, what she's planning to do. I've got Misha. I think I'm going to play Misha.
Okay.
I'm going to do some uncontrollable emotional event.
Okay.
And then I'm going to show you, you can draw from you can also draw from here. I'm going to draw this setting card,
Hmm.
put that right here. So those will be the three cards, and I'm going to draw a replacement card from the deck.
Okay.
All right. And now I'm going to tell my story based on this.
And you have
Okay,
a
so
special. What do you have a special?
spatial
Oh,
relations.
spatial relation. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to hide these so it's easier to see. Yeah. Can you see that pretty good?
Yeah, I can see that perfectly. Yep.
Okay, so here's my story. It is 6 o'clock, and the chimes to the church are near near the bar are chiming. It's funny how the bar just happens to be next to the church. It's so convenient for people coming out on Sunday just to sneak over there and get a beer. And but Misha's there, and she's really weeping. As the mayor of the town, she's been trying so hard to really make an impression. Her father died uh, 6 months ago, and he was a well-respected man in the town. He, his father had been in the town. His grandfather had been in the town, and they found it. He was a barber. Her great grandfather was in the Civil War as and helped uh, the surgeon, and he learned how to do surgery and stuff, and that's how he became a barber and taught her father and so she decided she wanted to make a difference in this town, and but right now she's so angry with the city council. They will not grant this land for new businesses to grow. And she's got two people who want to build um, a new strip mall. One of them's going to have a coffee shop, and there's a donut place, and a little bookstore, and um, it's just making her crazy, and she's just really upset about it. And so she's sitting there in the bar, and she decides to get. It's a cafe too, so she doesn't want to drink, but she gets a nice strong cup of coffee, and somebody comes in that recognizes her, so she kind of wipes her eyes a little bit because she doesn't want everybody to know that she's really that upset about it. Um, and that is my scene.
Okay.
So I'm going to take my cards and put them in my personal discard pile. And now I can draw replacement cards,
Okay.
up to 4 cards in my hand.
Okay.
And I'm going to draw from the common pool, which I can do,
Okay.
but I have to draw a replacement. I'm going to draw one more card like that. Cool. All right, so that's my turn. And
Okay.
now it is your turn.
Okay. So I have any character with what is it, a bias or pro- projected
Prejudice, yeah.
prejudice,
Yeah,
bias
yeah.
or prejudice, and then backstory, and then setting. What's soundscape? Setting soundscape. Let me see.
You can describe the sounds of the location.
Sounds of. Oh, okay. Sounds of
Yeah.
location.
Or you could draw, yeah, you could play one of the cards from the from the from the common pool. Well, you're going to play from your hand. You can draw from you play from your hand, but you can draw from the common pool. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
So,
And then I have the
yeah.
scene as, and then the hospital. Okay. Well, so then I can draw replacement cards or,
You can draw from either the common pool or from your
okay,
hand to play your 3 cards. Up to 3 cards if you wanted to, as long as they're different.
as long as they're
Looks like
different.
there are. y- mhm.
Okay. Um, okay. Well, any character, I have to look at the characters. So who
Okay, here they are.
the characters are. So we got
Let's see.
Misha. Okay, the characters.
Yeah,
Let me get my character cards. Okay, so there's Misha, she's the mayor. Um,
yeah.
uh, so I guess I will get the I'm gonna take Dawn. She's the doctor.
Okay. Yeah, she's the family doctor.
Yeah, family
Very
doctor.
good. Okay, okay,
Um,
okay. Sweet.
okay, and then she's in the hospital actually, so she's working. Um,
Oh,
so
okay.
um, trying to think how to get her hooked up with Misha. Um, so so Misha came from church, right? That's where she came from. Misha's in the
Yeah,
cafe.
I like that idea. And she went to the. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so she was in church, and she
Hmm.
okay. So Dr. Dawn um, is in the hospital right now. Um,
Okay. Which cards are you going to pick, though?
oh
Which
wait, I have
play?
to
Which
pick
cards
which
do you want to
one.
play to start off?
I pick. How many can I
Yeah,
pick?
you got to pick a.
I'm sorry.
You can pick one of each type. No problem. Yeah, pick one
Okay,
of each
so
type. So you could pick one character, one setting, and one activity card, or just one setting, or just one
one
activity. You have to play
character,
at least
one
one character.
setting.
Yeah.
Okay, the character is Dawn. The setting is in the hospital, and then the um setting in the hospital, and then some of her thing is um the prejudice.
Oh, okay. I like that. Okay, cool. All right. So there's your
Okay.
2 cards, and you can start telling your story. Super.
Okay. Um. So, um. Dr. Dawn was called into the hospital this morning, and she was really annoyed because she wanted to go to church, and she wanted to talk to Misha about about all of this new business stuff with these businesses coming in,
Mm.
um, because she did not want these particular businesses coming in. And the reason
Mm.
why she was annoyed with being called into the hospital was because she had to do an emergency um, procedure on one of the people that was doing this city planning thing for the town that was bringing in the businesses. And
Mm. Okay.
um, actually, one of the people had really destroyed Dawn's family's name and reputation um, in a very bad way. And had once all of that her family had built, um, they had really destroyed all that they had done. And Dawn was the first person who brought them out of the shadows. So she didn't want these people coming in and creating any businesses. And she felt that Misha should do the same with her and back her because even though Misha's family wasn't affected, they knew what was going on. And Misha should side with her. And she didn't understand why Misha would even consider this. And so that was her thing. And she was annoyed that she didn't get a chance to talk to Misha. And so now she was going to have to meet up with her again. And she was going to have to say, why on earth would you go against me on this? So there was a real battle here because Misha should know and her family should know. And what was her family's involvement? Why was Misha pushing this under the rug, pushing it away? Because her family was remained untouched, or did they know something?
Oh, okay. Cool.
Was that good? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's very good. I like that. So that's is that your scene?
I think so. I think that's all I have
Very
room
good.
for, really, because that's
I
the
like that.
prejudice and
Okay.
the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Cool. So now you get to draw two cards, and you can
Okay.
draw them from either the common pool, or you can blind draw them from these two decks.
Uh, I'll just blind draw. It's fine with me. I'll just see what I get.
Okay.
That's
What
fine.
you want the plot? Okay. So there's
Sure.
arguing with another,
Okay.
and do you want another one of those type cards? Right?
Um.
Ooh, a shocking plot twist.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. That sounds good.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the four cards that you'll be using your next scene. Okay.
So any
Argue,
setting,
you can pick
arguing
which
with
ones you want.
another. Okay, and plot twist.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Now
Wait.
let's see. It is my turn, and I've got an idea here. So, yeah. Okay. So this is going to be my story. And I'm going to use this enhance card. And I'm going to show you how this enhance card works.
Oh, good. Okay.
And All right. So, and then you get to contribute to my story dynamically as I go after I finish my first part. So, Misha is in the bar and she gets a text from Dawn. Dawn says, "Hey, I just finished my procedure. I want to meet with you. Can I come over? Where are you?" "I'm in the cafe." So she texts her back, "I'm in the cafe." In the meantime, Shiloh, who is the the sheriff, comes in and he sits down next to her. And he starts to kind of flirt with Misha, but she doesn't really want this right now. And it's actually Shiloh's family who had defamed Dawn's family by accusing her of doing abortions on black children without the permission of the parents. And it's totally false. And it really hurt because her father, it was Dawn's father who was also a medical doctor in the town, and it was Dawn's father that they accused of this, and he passed away about 7 years ago. And Dawn was so close to her father. It's one of the reasons why she became a doctor. So Misha is talking to Shiloh, and he's talking to her about these businesses, and he goes, I have a cousin who really wants to start this a donut shop. Those things are like gold mines, Misha. If I can, I'll be the first people to have a donut shop. Everybody loves donuts. I know, I'm a policeman. And he starts laughing. And but Misha, he can sense there's something wrong. Misha's just not into him at all. And she thinks, how am I going to change this behavior? How am I going to change this? Change this? So she says, "Excuse me, I need to use the restroom." So she goes to the restroom, but on her way, she goes over to the bartender, who she knows really, really well, and she goes, "Hey, can you come over in about 5 minutes and uh, tell me that I've got a phone call, um, and then I'll come over. Just I need to do something. I would just appreciate it as a favor." Uh, okay, all right, it's your choice. Sure, I owe you one. You've helped me out so many times, Misha, with this place. You helped me get my liquor license. Hey, I'll help you out. It's just a small favor. I'm not really wanting Shiloh around me right now. I just need you to help me out. All right, I got you. So she comes back. She sits down, and about 3 minutes later, bartender comes over. "Hey, Misha, there's a call that I just got for you. They were trying to reach your cell phone, um, and they said that there's something going on." Um, "Oh, yeah, I forgot. The doors are locked to the city hall, and there's some people there. Shiloh, could you do that for me? I'm supposed to meet somebody here. Would you go to the city hall and unlock it? I know you have a key. I left mine at home. I don't have it. I would really appreciate it, Shiloh." And she kind of turns on the charm, and he goes, "All right, all right, all right." So she knew that would get him away, and so he left. Well, so that's my scene, but I want to expand it now with
Okay.
new characters.
Okay.
And so I drew one card to start it off, and I'd like you, somebody else who would like to expand this scene for me and they can use any card from their deck here, or they can use cards from the common pool, which I need to draw another card here. I took one. So does anybody, namely you, Sarah, would you like to expand this scene before I quit it?
Yeah, I will
You don't have to, but
explain.
you're welcome.
So Shiloh leaves.
And
Okay.
here's what expanding means. You're gonna add some new. You expand it with new, maybe a new character or activity, or maybe a new location. Um, maybe that second character did something. Maybe Shiloh does something. Who knows? Or maybe Dawn's coming to there. Who knows? It's your
Yeah.
decision.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that Dawn is coming over there. Well, yeah,
Okay.
because she got the text that she's over
Yeah.
at the bar or cafe.
Yeah. Exactly.
So she gets in the
And
car.
you can play up to two more cards beyond this right now if you want to. So it's
Oh,
kind of like starting a brand new story on in addition to my story. It's kind of like expanding that. Is there any cards from your hand that you want to play to expand that, or from the common pool?
I will do arguing with another.
Okay, I'm going to put that right here.
Okay.
All right.
So she immediately gets in the car, Dawn does, and she heads over because she is hot. She's all pumped up. She's already mad. She couldn't go do what she wanted to do. She wants to get over there now. And working on
Mm-hmm.
this project developer person who's trying to get this land, she is just in a terrible mood. So she gets in the car, she's speeding over to the cafe, and Shiloh is crossing the street and she almost hits him.
Oh.
And he is like mad. And well, of course, he's mad. And he bangs on the front of her car and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she said, "What are you doing? I didn't even see you. And you're crossing in the middle of the street. What is going on? You're not paying attention." And he goes, "You're not paying attention. I'm the sheriff. I can, you're arguing with the law." I don't have time for this. I'm going over to talk to Misha. And he goes, "What are you so mad about?" And she said, "This business thing, all this business development. How could you want to have these people come in who ruined my family? These people are coming in to buy land. They've ruined my family. She already knows this. Why is she
Mm-hmm.
approved? Why does she want this so bad? I understand. We can find someone else. We can find someone else. This is absolutely ridiculous." And he has this secret now, and he doesn't know how to diffuse the situation. But he says there's a lot you don't know, and you should keep your nose out of it because you don't know the whole backstory. And she said, "Do you know something I do not know? And you need to tell me now." And he goes, "I have to remind you, I am the sheriff. You need to watch it." And she said, "Do you know something I don't know? You need to tell me now. These people have ruined my father. Misha knows this. Someone is involved with this. That how did these people come in on this?
Mm-hmm.
How were they even invited in on this?" And he said, "Well, I say you get out of the way and don't start this up. These people are going to get approved whether you like it or not." And she said, "Over my dead body. I will not get
Mm.
this approved. It will never go through the council. They're going to have to fight me to the death, and I will convince every single person on the city council that this is not going to happen." And he says, "I will stop it. I am the sheriff. Anything will go."
Oh.
And her question is, "Why are you behind this? What do you know that I don't know? Did you have something to do with this, Shiloh? Do you know what happened? Did anyone you know do this to my father? Because if you know, you better tell me." And he said, "Well, you need to speak with Misha because she knows everything." But remember, I am the sheriff of this town. What I say goes. So she's perplexed. What does Misha know? What is she in the middle of? And what does Dawn have to do to stop even Shiloh from getting this to happen? Because she will do whatever it takes. And then she gets in the car
Wow.
and she goes over to Misha to find out what's going on, and she'll stop it with Misha's help or not. But she needs to convince Misha that this is not going to happen, and Misha can join her
Wow.
or not. I did it. Ooh, they're knocked out. Oh, I have to chat with you. Uh, uh, yeah. Oh, 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 I know. I know what's happening. Camera, camera. Mm. Sketchy.
Sorry about that. I had an internet connection issue.
Oh, that's okay. Wait, are you back?
Oh, I am back.
Oh, okay. There you are.
So we were
Okay.
off. We
I
we
think
were
I
offline for a little while.
Okay, I was like, oh no, I got kicked off. I thought it was my thing.
No, it was totally me.
Okay,
So I love
good. I
it.
was like, oh no, I don't want him to think that like I did something.
No, you did it perfect. That was great.
Okay.
What happened was I heard you say that Shiloh and now she was coming and like, what did you do? Go talk to Misha. I'm the sheriff and I'm in charge. And then that's when we got connected. So it was kind of like a big cliffhanger right
Yeah.
as soon as you
And I just said she was gonna go to see Misha. He said, I'm the sheriff. And she said, now she, and she said, that she was going to see Misha to find out. He said to talk to Misha, and she knows more than she's saying, and she's going to see Misha, and she was going to have Misha side, get convince Misha to side with
Yeah,
her, or that, um, and that if she didn't, she still was going to defeat this with Misha's help or not.
right, right, right. So I'll pick us up, and then we'll gently uh, let this land here.
Okay.
But I wanted to at least show you how the real game plays
Yeah.
versus how let everybody see that it's a lot different with the real cards because you've got more dynamic interaction.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you can see my screen yet or not.
I can see
Let's see.
you. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let me try this again. I'm probably having internet issues, but
Oh, that's okay.
screen. Screen. Let's see if it's going to let me do this. I'm trying a new service here. See how it works. Okay, let's see if it works. It's not letting me do it. Let's see if it'll let me do it this way. It might do that a little bit better. Okay. Well, so where we left off was I had that expand card. And if you had had that expand card, you could have enhanced card, you could have played that yourself as well at
Okay.
any time. Yeah, so now you're seeing a little bit better. It's a little bit of a lag here, but you added the you added these characters to my scene, and you added the arguing, and so what would happen in the game is you would get the points for these two cards. Those would go into your pile, and then I would get, since I played these cards, I would get those cards. And
Okay.
it's the end of my turn, but um, you're going to get to draw replacement cards too. So because you played some cards, so I'm going to go ahead and and we'll really kind of finish it up here. But I wanted to give you an
Okay.
idea of how this would play, and you would get another card. Ooh, you got a card too. So these are the four cards that you've got after after me finishing my expanding my turn. And now you would get to go, even though you added onto mine, but that was the end of my turn. Now you get to
Okay.
keep going with this whole plot of Dawn. Would you like to finish that up, and then we'll just talk about it and see how that using this last turn, or do you want to call it a night?
I think I'm gonna call it a night there. I'm too nervous.
Okay, no problem. No problem. So how does the game come to an end? If there's only two players, what we do is we take 14 of these cards, around these cards, out of the deck, which is that many cards, and we sit them to the side. So really, there's only six more of these character cards left, and you have to have a character card for every turn, right? So we'd only have about three more turns, or 4 more turns each, and then the game would be over.
Hmm.
So that's kind of how the game is played. And that way, it doesn't go on forever.
Yeah.
And with in terms of our in oh no, in terms of our plot structure, oh gosh, I think we just lost the internet again. Well, I'm gonna type.
Hearts back in.
I don't know if we're here or not.
There I am.
Yes, huh?
Oh, there we go.
All right. Well, I'm sorry about that. Um, well, I hope you enjoyed tonight.
I did. It was
I
fun.
and it gave you a little bit of an idea. So first of all, I just want to thank you so much, Sarah. You are such a great helper,
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
you're just an awesome person. So let me just do a shout out for you here. See if
Thank
I can do this.
you.
Yeah. So yeah, you're an awesome person, and I there we go. Yeah.
Yay!
Anyway, I'm gonna have to get better internet so I can use this service. But um, I want to thank you so much tonight for
Of course.
playing along with us, and I'm really glad you've got a version you can play at your
I
home
do.
with
It's
friends
fun.
and just explore. And I think the game really allows you to um, do a lot of different things. Right? You can play with other people. You can play solo. Um, And hey, if you're hearing this through um, the another way outside of Authortunities Hub, I encourage you to join other like-minded authors and writers and readers and join Authortunities Hub. Um, I'll share the link to that real quick here. Hopefully it's going to let me share. I've had a little bit of trouble here sharing things. Um, I think it's a bandwidth issue on my side. Um, So, I'd like to, encourage people to join Authortunities Hub, uh, expand your creativity by working with other collaborate with other authors. And you saw how you can play this online. So even
Yeah,
if you
that was
don't,
awesome.
yeah, if you don't have the finances to spend $20 and buy the game, you can play it online first. And then I'm going to be coming out with other games too. I'm working on a little more interesting, a little more intricate, involved game called Miasma Shadows of Medina, which is going to be a gothic horror story telling game. Um, I don't know if Sarah, have you ever read Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House?
I'm actually reading that right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
reading it right now. I got it because I haven't read it yet, and I've just read like so many reviews on it, and I I mean, I was like, why haven't I read this yet? I have to read this book,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been meaning
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
Yeah. So what I like about Shirley Jackson's book, that particular one, also some other books like that, is how it gets into the head
Yeah,
of the character. And the horror is more in the head of the character. It's really a psychological horror. And I really wanted to create a game that let you create that environment with your characters. Just like we're doing right here,
yeah.
imagine that you're in a setting where you're creating this horror in a safe way with other people in a haunted environment, and you're trying to, survive that environment. So I hope to bring that to market in the next year. And
That's
so
cool.
I think it'll be a really. I've been playtesting it for over a year now, and I love where it's going because as you saw with Small Town, you have a really rich way of telling a story. And as you tell the story with this version, you get rewards that let you develop your characters so that they can do more things in the game. So it's sort of a little bit of more role playing on top of storytelling. So we'll see how that goes.
I think it's this game is so cool, especially when you. I mean, I can only imagine. Can you play it online with other people?
Yes, yes. So if you had, I didn't try to do that tonight because you didn't have a separate monitor, but
Right. Yeah.
and I'm also doing a recording. But
Yeah.
at the same, we could do this where you just log into that site, you play it, and you can hear what we can talk, and
Okay.
and it lets you play that with friends anywhere in the world, and you can start to create collaboratively a story of any genre, pretty much,
Oh,
and back, yeah, yeah. So
I'll have to do that. That's cool because it is fun. And the story that we created with when the four of us was, I mean, it came together. That was a cool. That's a cool story.
it really is. Yeah, I want to promote that on this recording. It's going to be called Misha's Grimoire. I think is what we're going to call it. Moki's Grimoire.
Yeah.
Mochi's Grimoire. And it's a really great story involving four authors. And it really very unique. I really thought it was such a well done. Every person brought their own perspective. And so, anyway, I want to thank you again, Sarah, for joining
Yeah.
me tonight. And
Absolutely. I'm sorry I couldn't. You can't see me, but I'm here. I'm sorry about my camera.
I heard you and I loved your story. I loved where that was going. I'm wondering what's going to happen when Dawn goes to the cafe and meets
I
with
know.
Misha.
I
What
think I'll
happens?
write you. I'll write you a message for sure. I always get so
Yeah,
nervous in these things because I'm a poet naturally, but I like it because it pushes me out of out of my comfort zone, and so I like it, but I get very nervous. But it's
yeah,
really good for me.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. You have a great evening and a good week,
You
and we
too.
will talk again. Thanks
Okay.
again.
Sounds
All right.
perfect. Thanks,
All
Stephen.
right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.